So we're solving two equations today. And when you see a problem like this, the first thing to recognize is don't get overwhelmed. And I see a lot of people who see a big problem, and the fact that it's a huge problem, they're just like, yeah, I can't do it because there's just too many pieces. Look, work it one piece at a time. All right? So starting on the left side, this is like a -1. That can distribute here and it can distribute here, right? So what we have there is 3 bracket 5. -1 times 3 is -3. -1 times -2x is positive 2x. Now, one of the things that I ask basketball players this all the time is, I'll tell them to do something. They'll go, well, I was doing it this way. Okay, well, how is that working for you? Right? If you're doing it a different way than I am, how is that working for you? If you're getting the answer right every single time, then by all means, use your way. If you're not, then maybe you should come to my side. What I'm trying to get you to understand is you can combine a lot of steps into one. Like some people will distribute this and they'll distribute the other side, and then they start combining like terms. They combine it all over the place. All right, well, how is that working for you? If you're getting it right, keep doing it. If you're not, then maybe don't do so many steps at once. I try to only do one step at a time just because, I don't want to get anybody confused. We're going to combine like terms here. 5 minus 3 is like terms, so we're going to combine those together. We're going to observe that the signs are different, so we will subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2 plus 2x equals 4 times 3x minus 5 minus 5x. From there, we'll distribute here. Okay. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 6x equals 4 times 3x minus 5 minus 5x. So again, I'm still just showing it one step at a time. I'm not trying to combine any steps into one. Still just doing it one step at a time. From here, 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times 5 is minus 20 minus 5x. Now from there, 12x minus 5x is 7x minus 20, 6 plus 6x. All right. From here, we'll subtract 6x. We'll subtract 6x. 6 is equal to x minus 20. We'll add 20 to both sides. And we'll get x equals 26. Yes, sir?
I have a question. Is the difference if you do 7 subtract to both sides and 7x?
If we move the 7x to the left side? All right. Just for clarification for people watching at home, the question was at this step here where we had 6 plus 6x equals 7x minus 20, the question that was asked was, could I subtract 7x to both sides? The answer is absolutely you can. But here's what happens. If you do that, you get 6 plus 6 minus 7 becomes negative x, right? Equals negative 20. And that's fine. That's not, some people get to there and they're like, oh, I screwed it up. No, you didn't. You're fine. But now you have to subtract 6 to both sides. And then this is the interesting thing. How do you deal with that negative there? Divide by negative 1. And as long as you know that you have to do that, because see, I'm not trying to be a jackass when I say this, and sorry that's on the internet, but love you. A lot of students, when they don't know what to do with something, then they just erase it. like if they don't know what to do with the negative, they just get rid of it. Like that, didn't need that part anyway. Like we put together a bicycle and you got one extra bolt and you're like, well, spare part. You don't just get to get rid of it if you don't know what to do with it. Like you got to do something with it. So as long as you know to divide by -1, you'll get x equals 26 and it's completely fine. Okay. Now, the next question is the one that these fractions, for whatever reason, just really, and I don't know, I like to live in this utopia that is, if I keep giving you enough of them, eventually you'll like them. But like that's probably like Brussels sprouts, where you can have as much as you want to of them, but you ain't ever gonna like it. Yeah, it's just torture. The question, and it might help you to realize that this -2 is over 1. All right? And I say that because as you find the common denominator that you're searching for is between 7, 3, and 1. The -2 has nothing to do with it. But without the 1 being down there, a lot of people assume the -2 has something to do with it. It has nothing to do with it, actually. So the common denominator is 21. And if you cannot find the common denominator, take all the denominators that you have and multiply them together. Like that will always work. If you cannot find a common denominator, take all the numbers on the bottom and multiply them together. I mean, it might produce a bigger problem that you have to deal with, but at least you'll be making progress. All right, you won't just stare at it. All right. So we're going to multiply through by 21. So we're going to go 21 here. We're going to go 21 here, and we're going to go 21 here. Now, when I do that, what happens? Shoot. PG-13. Just give me what? This is over 1. It looked like it was over 7. What happens? 7 goes into 21 3 times. So now that becomes 3 times 3 is 9x. 3 goes into 21 7 times. So that's 35. And then the kicker is this piece. That's the part that a lot of people will forget. That becomes -42. Okay, a lot of people will forget that's -42. From there, you add 35. You add 35. 9x equals -7. Divide by 9, divide by 9. X equals -7 ninths. What's up? Now you got to come up and write it up there. Nobody came up to claim it. Now this ain't after the fact. You tell me on your honor you got it right. No, bull crap. Nope. Love you though. All right. Any questions on those two? Questions on those two?